It's 6:30 straight ahead. A man murdered 45 years ago in Ardmore. His case never solved. Why detectives have reopened it.
And why Oklahomans are having a tough time getting their hands on High Point beer with the state's new law in effect.
Plus, Sherman ISD celebrates their official groundbreaking event for their new high school.
These stories and more are next.
The news starts right now.
Texoma's #1 rated newscast, broadcasting live from 12 studios. This is News 12 at 6:30 a.m.
And a good morning to you, Texoma. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jeremy Thomas.
And I'm Lauren Smith. Meteorologist Tom Miller is joining us now from the Weather Center to see how much we'll heat up today, Tom.
You know, it's going to be surprising. Here it is, supposedly October. It is October, but we're looking at spring-like conditions, not only today, but really through the work week, as temperatures could be near 90 by Thursday and Friday. Right now, though, starting out at partly cloudy skies, some patchy fog and drizzle across parts of the area, so be aware of that. As we look at our visibilities, down to about 7 miles in the Ada area, about 5-mile visibility from Nocona to Gainesville, so along that 82 corridor there out west, be aware of that. Weather headlines, again, after this patchy fog and drizzle gets out of the area, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and warmer temperatures, mid-80s for highs, even a slight chance of an isolated shower today. A better chance of heavy rainfall, though, as we head into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. Our hour-by-hour forecast temperatures around 80 degrees at lunch hour. That's almost the normal high for this time of the year, and we're looking at 84 to 85 this afternoon. We'll have a complete look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Tom. New this morning, authorities in Marshall County are investigating a fatal shooting overnight.
News 12's Anthony Miller is live in Medill with what we know. Anthony.
Yeah, Jeremy, Lauren, authorities are still investigating what led up to a shooting here in Medill early this morning. Now, police say that they were called out to East Wolf Street at around 4, where they say they found a 36-year-old man with a gunshot wound. That man did die while being transported to the hospital. Now, the suspect was not at the scene at the time and is currently on the run from authorities.
At this time, obviously, the suspect is on the run. And any suspect in a homicide should be considered armed and dangerous. We're not able to release any information on the suspect at this time. However, we do know that the suspect and the victim...
OSBI has been called to investigate the scene at this time, and there has been no word on a motive for the shooting at this time. We'll continue to keep you up to date on the situation throughout the morning here on News 12. Reporting live in Medill, Anthony Miller, News 12.
All right, thank you, Anthony. The mayor of Leonard has bonded out of jail after troopers arrested him over the weekend for drunk driving. Stephen Boland was arrested Saturday night on a charge of driving while intoxicated. Troopers say he had an open container of alcohol inside his car. He bonded out of the Fannin County Jail on a $4,000 bond yesterday. Boland was elected mayor of Leonard in May of 2016 and served on the city council before that. He has no previous convictions in Fannin County.
Ardmore police are taking a new look at the city's oldest unsolved murder case nearly 5 decades later. 45 years ago, Ardmore coach and teacher J.C. Dunn was found shot to death in his home on Campbell Street in Ardmore. He had been killed in his bathroom by a single shotgun blast. Someone had stolen his wallet and the money in his money clip. Captain Keith Engel of the Ardmore Police Department said one suspect was arrested but was soon released after questioning. Engel said they have run into missing evidence and had a tough time finding people who may know something. Despite those challenges, he says they've already found some new leads.
I've had a couple of people that I've contacted that are going to come in and talk to me. I've spoken with one so far that has given me an avenue to take.
If you have any information, you can call Ardmore Police.
New Oklahoma state liquor laws are currently in effect after voters said yes to cold High Point beer in 2016. The new law means liquor stores will now be able to sell refrigerated beer and wine. Grocery stores and gas stations could only sell beer up to 3.2% alcohol by volume before the change. Now, with proper licensing, they will be able to sell beer up to 8.99% and wine up to 15%. But lots of store shelves are empty because those licenses haven't been issued.
Well, the new laws don't allow us to sell the low point beer anymore, so we have to go to the high point beer, and so we have to get a new not a liquor license, but a new beer license through the Able Commission.
A spokesperson for the Oklahoma Alcoholic Beverage Laws Enforcement Commission confirmed they are working to get all 3,000 applications processed. They expect at least another 1,000 stores to apply. They say they'll have to figure out how to regulate twice as many stores with the same number of agents.
The North Texas Regional Airport's control tower is now officially federally controlled. That means the federal government will foot the bill, saving Grayson County taxpayers $300,000 a year. The airport director says being in the program will bring more business and corporations and elevates the airport to a whole new status. The FAA Tower program includes about 250 other airports in the United States.
It's a historical day for the airport. Many people have been working on this for months, almost a year. Tremendous amount of work.
Down the road, we're told the tower could be open until 10 p.m. as opposed to 7, and they plan to hire more controllers as well.
The Sherman City Council is talking about building a new police headquarters. They've already approved a $4 million makeover on their 50-year-old building, but now they're talking about holding off on that, possibly putting the money toward a new building in West Sherman or doing both, using the old headquarters as a substation. The city would have to borrow $10 to $12 million to pay for it, and it would take about 2 years to build. The proposed new building would be about 25,000 square feet and could house 120 officers if City Council approves it down the road.
Well, last night, the new multi-million-dollar Sherman High School officially broke ground at the construction site where it'll be built. People from all around the community came together to celebrate the event. It included a performance from the Sherman High School band, high steppers, and cheerleaders. The high school principal, superintendent, Sherman mayor, and a couple students spoke. Sherman ISD members say the plans have been in the works for about 3 years. They moved dirt a couple months ago, but Monday was the official ceremony. We're told structure should be coming up by January. It is set to open in August 2020.
It's going to be pretty amazing to see it actually just form.
Definitely.
It's going to be great. Time now, 6:37. Meteorologist Tom Miller joining us now. And Tom, I did check the calendar. It is October, but we're not feeling fall-like at all.
No, it's going to be in the mid-80s today, and with the humidity, it'll feel like upper 80s, so we're kind of going the wrong direction now. That said, we're not seeing quite the extent of the fog and drizzle that we saw yesterday morning, but there are some patches of fog and drizzle. But as we take a look at our TMC tower cam, you can see we generally have fair skies, a few clouds around. Let's take a look at our East Central University tower cam. Still see some low clouds, some patches of fog around the area, but overall some improvement, and a lot of times we'll see sunrise occur and then we'll see those low clouds reform. So just be aware throughout the morning we could be left with some reduced visibilities. But the good news is this cloud cover that was over us is pretty progressive, moving off to the southeast. As for our temperatures, we're doing pretty good. Again, normally we should be around 60, and we're at 66 in Ada, 66 in Tishomingo, 68 degrees in Ardmore and Durant and Hugo. It's 67 degrees in Pears, 69 in Sherman and Denison, already 70 in the McKinney, Greenville, and Decatur area. And winds are generally out of the south to southeast, anywhere from 2 to about 7 miles per hour. And our visibility is doing much better than yesterday, but still low in some areas. Again, Gainesville to Nakona, you have 5-mile visibility. Ada, Duncan, about 7-mile visibility. Elevation at Lake Texoma, little change at 620.74 feet. The water temperature at 78 degrees, and sunset will occur at about 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. Yes, we have a stationary front in Kansas. It looks hopeful. No, it's not going to happen. The reason why? High pressure at the surface and a loft is building westerly out of the southern part, southeastern part of the nation, if you will. And that high, upper level high, will be situated right over the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we head into late Thursday and Friday. And that will boost that temperature up to around 90 degrees. And at the surface, again, flow around the highs clockwise. That's going to pull in some Gulf moisture, meaning it is going to be very warm and humid. We're still waiting for a very potent upper level trough to move off the west coast, but when it does, it's going to be very slow in moving, so it's going to move into the central plains late Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and that means we'll see those periods of heavier rainfall. But again, that will start as the earliest late Saturday. Now, that said, we could see a pop-up shower for our area later this afternoon, this evening, but after that, it looks like just very warm and humid as we head into Saturday. And as we look at Friday, you can see some shower activity starting to develop out to our west. Our high temperature today, we're going to go mid-80s under partly sunny skies. South winds kicking around at 10 to 20, and yes, that slight chance of a scattered shower, and then really no rain expected Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but very warm conditions. Highs in the upper 80s to near 90, lows around 69. 30% chance of a late afternoon shower Saturday, 83, and a 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday with highs near 80.
President Trump's escalating trade war with China is bad for business for many American farmers. I'm Mola Lengi in rural Missouri, where despite the president's tariffs, many of these farmers continue to support the president.
Police in Oklahoma City say one man is dead and another is critically hurt after being electrocuted in a canal in the city's downtown entertainment district. Sergeant Gary Knight says the man who died had fallen into the Bricktown Canal Sunday night, then tried to pull himself out of the water by grabbing a small light fixture. Knight says the fixture broke and electrocuted the man. Knight says another man jumped into the water and tried to save the first man, but he also suffered an electric shock. That man was in critical condition Monday at a hospital. The names of the men have not been released.
Health officials have conducted tests at a landlocked surf resort in central Texas after a man who visited there died from what is known as a brain-eating amoeba. Waco, McLennan County public health officials say that the results of testing by a team from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are expected later this week. The surf resort voluntarily closed as health officials investigate. The 29-year-old man died September 21st after falling ill with a rare but highly deadly amoeba. The CDC says people are typically infected when they go diving or swimming in warm, freshwater places like lakes and rivers. The midterm elections are 1 month away and the stakes are high. Republicans are trying to hold on to their majorities in the House and Senate. Democrats want to flip them.
For some voters, escalating U.S. trade disputes will be front and center as they go to the polls. Mola Lengi reports from Bolivar, Missouri.
Yeah, 1 out of every 3 rows goes to China.
The soybeans that farmer Trent Drake sells to China have dropped in price by about $2 a bushel. How does coming down $2 a bushel translate?
Oh, that'd be anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000.
It's a lot of money.
Yes, it is a lot of money.
Some farmers and ranchers have been hit hard with tariffs on their exports to China, Mexico, Canada, and the EU. Those countries are retaliating for new U.S. tariffs. President Trump says the tariffs his administration has imposed are necessary to fix long-term unfair trade practices, and he's offered farmers up to $12 billion in aid. Now, on the eve of the midterms, the trade war is a hot-button issue.
I'm Heidi Heitkamp.
This is a commercial for Democrat Heidi Heitkamp defending her Senate seat in North Dakota against Republican challenger Kevin Cramer.
There's a potential short-term pain. We don't have a very high pain threshold in the United States of America.
Mr. Cramer, that trade war is costing my family a lot of money, and you don't seem to care.
Many toss-up Senate and House races are in farming states, but new research from Oxford Economics finds the impact of retaliatory tariffs will spread, that all U.S. households will soon face higher prices for common goods, and of the 10 states that will suffer the most in a prolonged trade war, 8 went for candidate Trump in 2016. Drake, who voted for the president, believes the financial pain will be temporary.
China has a lot of mouths to feed, and they need our soybeans.
He's willing to give trade negotiations more time and will keep voting Republican on the first Tuesday in November. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Bolivar, Missouri.
From the Weather Authority, here's Tom Miller.
We're looking at our East Central University tower cam out of Ada, and even though we're under fair to partly cloudy skies, look at the low clouds and the fog trying to redevelop. That usually happens at around sunrise, so we could see these fair skies give way to some cloud cover and some fog, so be aware of that. The main cloud deck is moving away from us, and that's going to allow us to see partly sunny skies this afternoon and much warmer temperatures, as most of us will be in the mid-80s this afternoon. Yes, mid-80s. 66 currently in Ada, 68 degree in McAllister, 67 in Paris, 69 in McKinney, 69 in Sherman and Denison, 68 degrees in Ardmore and Durant. It's 68 in Nocona. And the winds are fairly light out of the east-southeast at about 3 to 7 miles per hour. And there you go. The low visibilities are really confined to extreme eastern Oklahoma and Texas at the moment, even though we're seeing visibilities down to 5 miles in the Gainesville-Nocona area. Out at Lake Texoma, the elevation, no change, 620.74 feet. The water temperature at 78 degrees and sunset at 7:08. Stationary front will remain to our north. Actually, the whole system lifting northward because the high pressure system, not only at the surface but in the upper levels of the atmosphere, out of the southeast is starting to build towards our area. The upper level high will be centered over the Dallas-Fort Worth-Waco area by late Thursday into Friday, and that's going to crank the heat up. I expect a few 90-degree temperatures maybe as early as late Thursday, but sure Friday, and along with that we're going to have some humidity, so it's going to be very uncomfortable over the next few days. There is a developing frontal system as a main upper level system is starting to develop off the Pacific coast, and that will bring us a big change in the sense that we may see some locally heavy rainfall as we head into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. Could see a straight isolated shower develop this afternoon into this evening, and then we're going to put rain on hold as again the heat is going to be on with that ridge of high pressure building over the area. Look at this, a little bit of snow in the higher elevations of the Colorado Rockies as you move into Friday morning. For us, we're looking at, well, some scattered showers to our west Saturday morning. I think the rain will hold off until the afternoon and evening, but it's just going to sit there, and that may lead to, again, some locally heavy rainfall. 20% today. We're looking at a high temperature of around 85 degrees and winds out of the south at, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday highs average of 88, low of around 70. Saturday, partly cloudy, 83. Most of the day, okay. Late in the afternoon and evening, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, and chance of showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday.
Thank you so much, Tom. Authorities in Marshall County are investigating a fatal shooting this morning. The triggerman reportedly on the run.
News 12's Anthony Miller is live at the scene in Medill. Anthony, do we know anything about the suspect?
Yeah, Jeremy and Lauren, we don't have much info on the suspect itself, but we do know that the suspect is still on the run from authorities this morning. Now, Medill police did tell me that they were called out to East Wolf Street at around 4 this morning, where they found a 36-year-old man with a gunshot wound. That man died while being transported to the hospital. The suspect was not at the scene at the time that police arrived and is currently on the run from authorities. No info is being released about the suspect, but authorities did say that the victim and the suspect were acquaintances, and the suspect is considered armed and dangerous. No word on the motive for the shooting. OSBI has been called to investigate the scene, and we'll continue to keep you up to date on the situation throughout the day here on News 12. Reporting live from Medill, Anthony Miller, News 12.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Here's a final check of our other top stories this morning. The Denison City Council voted unanimously yesterday for Denison ISD to add 2 more full-time school resource officers. The SROs will be Denison police officers, and the district will pay 80% of their salary, while the city will pick up the rest. The school district has already spent over $200,000 in security upgrades since March. Denison ISD Superintendent Dr. Henry Scott says the officers will be in the schools by January.
A Murray County man facing multiple sexual assault charges in a couple of local counties is now behind bars. Corey James Lee Hauser of Davis was arrested over the weekend. He faces charges in Love County for first-degree rape in 2016. He also faces charges in Carter County for first-degree rape and raping a minor. Hauser is under a $100,000 bond.
President Trump awarded the Medal of Honor to a Secret Service agent for his heroics a decade ago as a Green Beret medic in Afghanistan.
David Martin now on how Ron Scherer earned the nation's highest military award and the new enemy he's battling.
The Medal of Honor will humble anyone, but no one more than Staff Sergeant Ronald Scherer.
To be singled out at all just doesn't make sense.
You seem almost embarrassed.
A little bit.
Like it or not, his actions during a 2008 battle in the mountains of Afghanistan are now front and center. Remarkably, parts of it were captured on video. Here's Scherer's team of Green Berets and Afghan commandos coming off their helicopter.
I just remember being rocky and cold, and then as soon as you look out, and it was just kind of straight up everywhere you looked.
Their objective was a village where leaders of one of Afghanistan's many terror groups were thought to be hiding. The enemy saw the Green Berets coming and opened up on them.
Felt like we were being shot at from every direction.
Schur was the team's medic.
I heard the first calls for medic, and at that point, worked my way over to the first person who needed help.
Did you have to expose yourself to fire to get there?
Yes, I mean, I had to get there.
Did you get hit?
I know when I was shot in the helmet.
And were you okay?
Felt like somebody hit me in the helmet with a baseball bat.
While Apache helicopters rocketed the village,
good missile, good missile,
and jets dropped bombs within danger close range of the Green Berets, Schur kept crawling across open ground to treat the wounded.
It just became a mission of just getting as many guys out of there as I could.
Medevacs braved the firestorm.
Hey, I'm hit. I think I'm hit.
To evacuate the casualties, 4 critically wounded Americans and 2 dead Afghan commanders.
We got everybody. We got everybody out.
Schur left the Army and joined the Secret Service. You might think he can breathe easy now that the ceremony is over and go back to guarding the president. Not so.
I understand you're fighting a different battle.
Unfortunately, yes.
What have the doctors told you?
I mean, I was diagnosed with lung cancer last year.
What's the prognosis?
Taking it one day at a time.
Having faced death before, Ronald Schur knows exactly what he has to do.
We're just giving this fight everything we can, just like the last one.
David Martin, CBS News, Washington.
Now here's a look at what's coming up on CBS this morning.
Coming up, we report from Washington on the expanded scope of the FBI inquiry into sexual misconduct claims against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Plus, we'll take you behind the scenes of FEMA's new presidential alert system. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
Patchy fog, some low clouds possible this morning, and then we'll go with partly sunny and a warm 85. Look for upper 80s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with a good chance of rain starting Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week.
So it's basically summer this week, maybe fall next week.
That's what it's shaping out to be.
Bring out the tank tops and flip-flops. Thank you, Todd.